Hello. Hi. It's me. Your friendly line neighbor here. Hello. Yeah, so yeah. Been a pretty great week for me, as weeks go. I ended up watching some really great TV shows that, I thoroughly enjoyed. Like Ted Lasso, about a football coach that coaches a soccer team that plays football in England, right? The country across the pond, famous for sausage rolls, sausage and beans, double-decker buses, cups of tea, and fish and chips. They used to be wrapped in newspaper, but isn't anymore because of food safety regulations. I bought this fish in a box for $22 the other day. I thought it was a great deal. 6 pieces of fish for $22. That's like $4 a piece of fish. But I see now it's a really tiny piece of fish. A fish made for ants or something. It should be, three times as big, right? I guess that's how they get your money, selling you this wild fish that wasn't made with, artificial colors. As you would expect, who's colorizing fish? Is that a thing? Anyway, this fish in a box goes great with some roasted vegetables and a delicious red sauce. But honestly, I have to eat like 3 pieces of fish just to have a full-size meal. I'm not a greedy little pig that eats, chocolate muffins for breakfast. No, I'm a lion. A lion who eats chocolate muffins for breakfast. Yeah. A lion baker who needs his protein. Now it's like, $12 a meal instead of like $4 a meal. That's a load of brown bananas if you ask me. Which I used for my homemade banana bread. Yeah. Anyway, when you spend $20 or $22 on a box of disappointment, dissatisfaction, or regret, all you can do is eat what you paid for and, make your own. Battered cheap white fish with a starchy vegetable. This way, I get to control the size of the cheap white fish and how it's made. What's not to love about fish and chips, The combination of tomato sauce with starchy potato fries is satisfying. The flaky tender fish inside a golden crispy batter is hearty and indulgent. And the caper dill tartar sauce, it's delicious, which is just flavored mayo. Yeah, that's all it is. But I'll make it with capers, dill, maybe some pickles, and some horseradish. That really feels like a punch in the face, but leaves you coming back for more. And having a delicious piece of fish like haddock, part of your diet is great. It's low in calories, supports cognitive brain function, and great for your heart because of all the omega-3 fatty acids. Yeah. However, deep fried foods aren't the healthiest of options. That being said, if you're gonna go through all the trouble of defrosting, washing, and drying your cheap white fish with the paper towel you bought online, it would be better to bake your cheap white fish that came in a plastic bag. This way, you can even season the batter with spices like garlic, onion, paprika, or even thyme. Which I think is a great idea, because now we have a more flavorful cheap white fish that was dipped in, free-range chicken eggs. From chickens that lay tastier eggs because they live happier lives. Maybe. A flavorful cheap white fish we can serve on a bit of cilantro rice I cooked in a non-stick pan. A flavorful cheap white fish I could serve in a bowl with some frozen green broccoli, chopped red cabbage, little tiny tomatoes, and a dill yogurt dressing I made from scratch. But I didn't want all the extra carbs from the delicious cilantro rice I made in a non-stick pan. What I wanted was something more adventurous, like some adventurous sides to complement my baked cheap white fish. Like maybe air-fried Brussels sprouts and rainbow carrots, I chopped with a knife. Brussels sprouts are, delicious and nutritious. They're full of, vitamin C, which promotes iron absorption. And they taste amazing too when you air fry them. By tossing them in a sweet pomegranate dressing with, these crunchy edible seeds made with pomegranate molasses, that seems strange, if you ask me. What do I know about pomegranates? Absolutely nothing. The Latin term, which I won't attempt to pronounce, loosely translates to apple with many seeds, or so I've been told. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's nothing but seeds. They grow on these small trees known as shrubs, or are they bushes? Anyway, what do I know? I'm not exactly a botanist stuck on Mars. You could throw these delicious seeds in gut-healthy yogurts, or maybe make a delicious yogurt smoothie with them. But what a mess. I mean, you have to cut it in half and hit it just so the seeds fall out. Not exactly as simple as peeling a banana, is it? Would you believe that this hard to prepare fruit is a berry? Might be the worst berry I ever met. Sure, the seeds are sweet and crunchy, that hold the power to detoxify your body. But it's no mango. I mean, that's a piece of fruit I could get behind. Anyway, carrots are amazing. They're an amazing root vegetable. Good for your eyesight because of the, beta carotene. And go great with roasted chicken. Usually when I make carrots, I like to bake them, wrapped in tin foil with thyme. Or maybe even, Chinese 5-spice, yeah. Which might seem, unusual, but I actually think Chinese 5-spice is a sweet spice and complements, carrots, yeah. That being said, what I never had before was air-fried rainbow carrots with rosemary, tossed in a sweet honey mustard dressing. I mean, who knew that would be good? I didn't. A little bit of honey, spicy Dijon mustard, balsamic vinegar, and you're done, It's delicious.